Holy smokes. 1 second in this film and someone's getting their teeth punched in. These two gentlemen are dunking on each other in the ring, but it looks like the bald dude is really making minced meat out of the other guy. Meet Ronnie Shelton. He's the loser of this match. What was this intro for? Well, it's to introduce the real Chad of this match, Case Walker. He pummels Shelton a second time, then his trainer says to mercilessly beat the stuffing out of Ronnie so that they could instill fear into the competition. There's the bell, and immediately Case goes for the grapple. Quickly subduing Ronnie, he taps out.
Case Walker.
A swift victory is won by Case tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But he's no stranger to sportsmanship either. He offers Ronnie some friendly advice about his punches, but then Case's trainer suddenly says he's out because he probably wasn't brutal enough. Alright, next fight time. Coming into the ring is Tony Richards, but this is a red herring for the real friend Case is gonna meet, Brody James. They catch up and it looks like Brody and him go way back.
Wait a minute, what are you doing in Beaumont, Texas?
Brody looks like he's doing well for himself, but Case himself doesn't look so hot. As an act of friendship, Brody tells Case to meet him later at the bar after the match. So, time skip to the bar hours later. Case goes and visits his old mate surrounded by potential mates, and then he welcomes Case over. He introduces us to Misa Cruz. This stunning lady is Brody's marketer, but he gets too handsy with her. Geez man, you're married and have a few kids. Case then drinks with him and Brody breaks the news that he just signed a contract for Prime Mortal Kombat. And doesn't that ring a fatality bell? He says he did it for the money.
They're the fastest growing group around.
But Case isn't too fond of them because it's a freak show. That's not what the $2 million says. Well, things get more out of hand when Case learns that Brody's gonna fight a total psycho. Case is concerned for his friend, but Brody is too blinded by all the money and riz he's getting out of all of this. Brody flocks away, then Case flirts playfully with Misa before he leaves.
Good night.
Good night.
Suddenly, Case senses trouble, and trouble it is. That dame is taken, buddy. Case tries to defuse the problem peacefully, but Porky the Pig over here won't let up. So he goes one punch man on this hog, also on this annoying guy with the camera. With that out of the way, Case carries Brody to his hotel room, and the night is over. The next morning, Brody seriously asks Case to train him for his upcoming psycho fight, and he even offers to pay him. Case is reluctant because he just wants to be a peaceful fighter since he lost his way before when his parents bit the dust. But Brody convinces him otherwise. The two fighters prepare to leave. For Case, he's saying goodbye to his trailer, but for Brody, it's his wife and kids. Case gets on the plane and is welcomed to the mystic world of Thailand. Case arrives at the Nice Palace. Yes, that's really the name of this hotel, and it seems more bland than paradise. But enough of that. It's press conference time and the PFC spokesperson, Hugo Vega, is announcing PFC's biggest fight yet. Brody James versus Cesar Braga, the rumored psycho force of nature. Alright,
this will be a fight for the ages.
The floor's open for questions, and firing the first shot is Joe Canarot. Basically, it's about strict substance policies, yada yada yada, boring. Next question hits Cesar like a truck because it's about his assault and battery charges to his ex-wife. Lord knows that Joe here just opened the gates to the inferno because Cesar goes berserk. I guess that's extra PR then for their fight. On the more sane side of things, Case walks to the gym and it's chock full of fighters hard at training. The trainer there doesn't take too kindly to him, but he goes outside and looks for some scraps to set up a training rig for Brody. Now that's ingenuity right there. Yeah, those punks can look at him weirdly all he wants, but he's got his ways. The other dudes make fun of Case's setup, and then it looks like Brody's now worried about his fight with that white giant. This clown couldn't hold his tongue and punches him, so he wants to fight Case now. He ignores him at first, but man, he's whiny. That's until everyone stops when Brody steps in and they all welcome him, though they're kinda on the edge about his friendship with Case. Whoever this hotshot neckbeard is, he still wants to spar with Case, so he accepts. Guess it's time for the octagon, fellas. Even Misa's coming to watch this little showdown. Cobra O'Connor really has his pants down for Case.
The more rounds you get in, the better, you understand?
So after his warm-ups, he gets in the octagon. It's fight time, and Cobra rushes at him with such vigor. But all Case does is either deflect his moves or dodge them. Once he fails his rush tactics, Case has him right where he wants him. This pansy can't even land one shot to Case. What an intro boy. Case swiftly knocks him out. Then Coach Matty Ramos calls the ambulance for him. Off to the drive of shame he goes. At first, Brody was disappointed with Case, but nah, he's just messing around. Cobra totally had it coming. Looks like even the others were getting info on him that he's been on a win streak 42 times in a row. Well, the next morning comes to prove the efforts of that win streak with some jogging. He jogs all the way to Brody's estate and the door's open. Yikes, this can't be good. Alright, stop the clip. We can't show that on YouTube. Gym side, Brody comes in late, and despite that, Coach Maddie still blames Case for it. What the heck is wrong with you? Well, they get into training and oh look, another interruption. This time it's Hugo Vega and his army of suits. Looks like he's here for the man who broke 3 of Cobra's ribs. Now that's hilarious. Looks like Hugo Vega even knows of the legend of Case. He gives Case a chance to fight since Cobra's out, but he rejects his offer. Brody talks some sense into him that this could be his shot to be in the limelight again. But Taj Mahal here swoops in like a vulture and tries to try out. Well, Hugo rejects him, but Case has an idea. They should both try out.
Take it to the old school.
By try out, I mean totally embarrass himself in front of Hugo until he leaves. It looks like even Misa wants to convince that Case is their man, but Hugo isn't having any of it. Instead, he tells Misa to focus everything she's got for this fight because it seems like a gamble to him. Back to the leather club or locker room, whichever you prefer. Case tells Brody he didn't want to try out because he and Hugo have a bit of history together. He steers clear of it and then they train. Outside after training, Taj is wondering why Case didn't even try. But again, he wants nothing to do with Hugo. These kids want to learn Case's moves, and at first, he doesn't want to share his secrets, but he gives the kids a chance. Just after his long workout routine though. Looks like after many hours, Creech and Taj here are really eager to learn. Case schools them and he teaches them that striking has to have the perfect technique.
Transfer all the power into one specific point.
He even gives them assignments. 500 hand strikes, 500 knee strikes, and 500 instep strikes. Yikes, that's really gonna whip them into shape. The next day, it looks like Joe and the Journo army are back to hold an impromptu press conference for Brody. Joe asks some hard questions, but Brody takes them down with his hubris. Just when things were getting real, the Journos wondered who that beefcake in the back was. One of them recognizes Case, and man, he's got some gains. After the press, it looks like the press really took a liking to him, at least according to Misa here. I mean, come on.
Doing what you do.
The dude's got some iron on him. This iron also ropes him into a date with her. Now, that's the power of Riz. Well, that's his Riz spent. So now Taj and Creech have to help him with the drip so he doesn't turn his date into a disaster. Heck, he even goes around and looks for flowers. This nice little girl, Morgan, helps him buy flowers, and it's revealed that she's the daughter of the widower known as Misa. Coach Maddie sees this little tryst, then the two get on with their date. Looks like Maddie brought Brody along to play stalker with him. Then here comes Hugo Vega. He's annoyed that Brody's too laid back with probably the most important fight of his career. Alright, date time. The reason Misa is a widower is because she married a man who was a jewel thief. Newsflash, the thief got busted hard. So hard, he laid 6 feet underground for it.
Guess we live and learn, huh?
On the flip side, she asks about Case's prison time, and she just wants to be careful. But it looks like that has too much history, so this date's over, babe. Let's go to Hugo's side, where he's worried about Brody being too relaxed for this fight. So here's his recommendation: steroids. Well, that's helpful. After this, Hugo leaves and Coach Maddie snitches about Case's little date. On the following day, it seems like Brody's on Case's case because he wants to spar with him. They touch gloves, and ooh, that's underhanded. Case learns that his friend is his mortal enemy today, so he gets in gear. He's still taken by surprise, so Brody one-ups him. Heck, Brody even pummels down to the ground. A total grand slam, and it's grappler city for the two. These two burly men tack each other's throws, and once they get up again, Brody won't stop. So Case lets out the beast. He beats Brody to the corner, and thank the Lord Maddie comes to stop everything.
Dude, you smoked him. Shut up.
This doesn't look good for these two's relationship. Hugo learns about this little spar, so now he wants to know everything about Case. On Case's side, he gets his protein shake on. Then he goes to babysit these two clowns. It's a complex workout, but it looks rather odd. Odd doesn't stop there. So here comes Misa. She's here to apologize, and it's not some Logan Paul apology or scam. He accepts her sincere apology.
Just show up and take care of the good friendships that we have.
Back at the gym, Case catches Brody, and just like those guys who try to give affection, he offers some meat. Not that kind, the Thai street food kind. Get your mind out of the gutter. Well, there's plus points for Brody because he's making a statement to get his act out of the gutter. He wants to win this fight and basically improve his overall quality of life, just right after his waiter joke. Alright, Brody's getting real serious with his training. In fact, he's so serious in improving, he makes Case and Maddie bury the hatchet.
See, that's not so bad, right?
Now that's out of the way, it's time for your action-packed training montage. Cue the music. They do some sparring, some cardio, and they even study Caesar's moves. Over time, Brody improves and his moves become accurate and totally lethal. One minor shtick though, looks like Brody is still holding his steroid use. While that's happening, Case finally asks Misa for a do-over date. It's about time. One faithful day, the gym was busy as usual and Creech was taking a beating. The girl he's been helping out in secret is enraged by this, so once Creech is out, she's in. This chick stuffs that other dude in, and once she's done, she gives Creech one advice: block only what comes close. Who is this chick? Well, whoever she is, it doesn't matter now because it's date time for Case and Misa. This time, they have a fun time, and Case even becomes more open about his past. They have a really good date, so it's time to call it a day, even though the house is empty. Nah, no tail time for him because Case laughably chokes on himself. Knock knock, it's one of Hugo's bootlickers on the door. He says he's got a contract for Case, so he just takes a look at it and settles it on his own terms. This is evident when Creech delivers it to Hugo personally. He doesn't look too happy about Case's terms, so he sends his yes man to do more digging on Case. Speaking of Case, here he is in the next morning taking a run with his good buddy Brody. Brody's wondering why he doesn't like Hugo, but he says the reason is that Hugo tends to endanger his own fighters by breaking the rules a lot. That's why Case wants a clean fight. Clean fights aside, the entire gym is in a riot because a leaked video of Case beating up some cops is making rounds on the internet. Specifically World Star, of all places. Case says he was framed in that footage, so he defended himself. Man, he could be a shoo-in for NWA.
Fans just don't want to see this fight. Simple as that.
This reverberates to Hugo's side because his potential view count for the upcoming fight is low. But since Case is a World Star candidate, he's looking at his options here. This immediately results in Case's overnight fame with the press, but Misa saves his hide. She's here to showcase his new crib and her that comes along with it. Well, everyone knows that story. Now it's time for this one. Get this, some Russian grappling specialist just happens to walk in at the gym and offers to teach Brody some leg locking moves. Of course, this turns for the worst, and oopsie. At the doctor's office, looks like Brody is out for a couple of weeks, which means he'll be missing the fight. He comes clean to Case that he's been taking steroids, but Case also comes clean that he just switched his pills with some regular, harmless ones. All those gains were solely on Brody.
You believed it, so you achieved it.
So good on him. After this, are you ready for this? Brody's not fighting Caesar anymore. Case is. Heck, Hugo even gives in to his terms. Just like that, the word gets out. Even the entire gym cheers for him. Despite being consistently training, Case still trains with Maddie and Brody. Actually, did I say word gets around? Because it even got to legendary MMA fighter Quinton Rampage Jackson that even he wants a piece of the Case pie. But not everyone's impressed because Taj feels betrayed that Case just changed his mind over $1 million. I mean, come on, who wouldn't? Something about this makes Case sus about that trainer that broke Brody's leg. Case gets on the case, and yep, it's real. This dude was really rigged to break Brody's leg. What a schmuck. So the gang gets planning to get back at Hugo, and the only way is to beat Caesar.
Use it as incentive.
Time for training montage number 2. Case is really going all out this time. They even review his moves. It's fight night, and it's time to bash some skulls. Hugo brags about his amazing success with bringing in Case, but then Misa quits. On Case's team, some girls approach them, and Creech recognizes one of them. It's that rugged girl from the gym. And I'd say I like the rugged look more for Jija here. There's gonna be more stars here because Tony Jaa makes an appearance. He gets into a few shots with Case. Then it's time for the lords of the locker room to get ready. Case feels something off, so this is probably the bravest thing he does. He taunts Caesar with his ex-wife, and the fight starts off the octagon. Woohoo! From the UFC to the Fight Club, am I right, boys? Case dodges all of his moves, and he uses his blind rage so that he could one-up him. But Caesar is just too tanky. Case gets up, and just as he was ramping up his fury, Caesar goes for a shot. Now that's literally below the belt. The gloves are off, and with one punch, he cracks one of Caesar's ribs. In fact, he goes for a number of them, then ties it up in a fantastic German surplex. After a few more hits and an overturned kick, Caesar Braga is down for the count. Apparently, this was all a strategic move to overturn the fight, bring some payback to Hugo about Brody's leg, and even he's on the fence about the legal charges.
Looks like I'm out of a job.
The crowd goes wild for Case and his team, and what a victory it was. There's the bell, because that's it for Never Back Down. No Surrender by Michael Jai White, starring the director Michael Jai White, Josh Barnett, and Nathan Jones. What's your favorite beatdown showdown? Let us know in the comments below using #CinemaRecap, and we'll see you in the next battle.